myself. No, I'm no doctor, but I got this product. I know it's good for your health. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. No, I got to have you. No, I can't help myself. I can't help myself. No, I got to have you. Yeah.
Welcome to the Help Myself podcast. I am your host. Let me pull the mic up. About to get on the mic, show y'all what it's like. But I'm your host, John M. Singletary Sr. Got to put that senior in there because I got a junior, and Junior was feeling a little under the weather yesterday. Both of us suffer from seasonal allergies. And man, yesterday he looked like he had been in a boxing match. So we stayed home today to kind of help him get over that. And my reward for that is feeling like I got played because he's feeling just fine. But I can't be upset about it because my baby was really going through it yesterday. Eyes watering, nasal clog, all that stuff. So, but you will be happy to know that my co-pilot, aka LJ, the one I do it for, is feeling great today. And he has been tap dancing all over my good sense. I was going to say my nerves, but my baby don't get on my nerves. He challenges me a little bit. So not only do I have my co-pilot, but I got my in-house DJ. So he's back there like, yep, you sure do. So, but I'm excited tonight. I say this a lot, but I'm not going to hold you long. Try to get out of here real quick. I want to start out, and I'm very proud to say that we now have a sponsor. So this episode of the Help Myself podcast is brought to you by Wiley Woodworks. Listen, man does custom wood projects, whether it is furniture, whether it's to commemorate a special event, especially for the military. He does a lot of what we call shadow boxes and things to celebrate a career or to celebrate a promotion or something like that. But he can do something to celebrate a loved one, customize furniture for your home. I've even seen him do cabinets, shelving, garage doors. Now, obviously, he is local to the Metro East area, which is Southern Illinois, right outside of St. Louis. So that St. Louis area and that Metro East area in the Southern Illinois area. He's local to that part of the country. So, but just hit him up at either wileywoodworks.com or on IG at jwileywoodworks, and he can give you a quote. You can discuss it to make something to commemorate a loved one, promotion, custom furniture, cabinets, all this other stuff. He is amazing. As we said when he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, he is good with his wood. Let me stop. I should be more mature, but I'm not. So, hey, that's what it is. But we're so grateful to Wiley Woodworks. That's our first sponsor, but not the last. Hey, we're going to get it popping here. So thank you to Wiley Woodworks, and make sure you go check out the website. And, there might be some opportunities for you to do some things. So definitely check that out. And if you have not, I am still rocking the mic on the audio podcast. As a matter of fact, last night, one drop, let's have a conversation about affluence. So wherever you stream your audio podcast, go check it out. It's on Spotify, Apple, Google, Breaker, blah, 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 blah. Or go to my website. You're scrolling right there under the bottom, thehelpmyselfpodcast.com. Go out, check out the latest audio podcast. It'll link you to the YouTube page. If you have not gone to my YouTube page and subscribed yet, shame on you. Let's get those subscribers up. But as I say all the time, it is my responsibility to continue to bring you content that makes you want to go in and hit that like and that subscribe button. So hold me up to my part in making sure that I continue to give you quality content. But also, if you go to my website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can get, let me turn around. I think I got copies of them right here. Look at that. Keep them right there. You can get a copy of my book, The Journey from Fear to Abundant Faith. Listen, best $20 you'll ever spend. So go to my website, scroll down to the bottom. You'll see a copy of the book, and there'll be a button that says click here to get your copy today. Click on that, go on in and support your boy. But I know the author personally because he's me. And I really think that it's a high quality book that will really impact your life in a lot of ways. And it's very easy to read. It's in bite-sized spots. See, look at that. We got, this one's out of juice, baby. You got to go with the other one. This is go get your phone. See, I'm on the job, man. He stayed home. So y'all get to see a peek into the life here at the Help Myself podcast. But I will say it's a very quality read. You can break it up into pieces. It is suitable for daily readings. So take advantage of that. And every purchase you make goes to feed a hungry child. And that child is my son, LJ. Eating me out of house and home. So support us, support authors, support, people that you believe in. Trust me, all of your positive comments and everything that your support, it really matters. And we've got some big things coming up. I've got a big announcement coming at the end of the month. I am not going to let the cat out of the bag. You are going to have to wait until the end of the month. So end of the month, we'll make a big announcement. We got some things coming on. But today, I want to talk about the boomerang effect. I don't know, for some reason on my screen that looks like it is not spelled correctly, maybe because it's going the other way or whatever, but let's talk about the boomerang effect. Now, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier today, and one of the young people that we mentored, helped with their career, they are to a very special point in their career. For all of my folks that are military affiliated or know anything about the military, this young man has made the rank of senior master sergeant. He is an E8, enlisted grade 8 out of 9 grades, top 3% of the Air Force. So it's a great accomplishment. And 6-7 years ago, when we were mentoring him, we didn't know if he was even going to make it in the Air Force. I'm joking. He's always been a bright young man, but went through some trials through life and really needed some mentoring and for some people to be there for him and myself, but more so my friend. Been there. And as we were talking about it this morning and celebrating this momentous occasion in the life of somebody we care about, he said, I just never realized that the things that I was saying resonated with people like that. He said, that's right, LJ. He said, I just never understood how, I was making an impact. And I had to call him on it because I'm like, hey, man, I sat in your office. Remember? You let me dock my laptop in your office. And every time I'd come in there, it was somebody there looking for career advice, for life advice. And you would talk about the things that you had been through and, how they can see themselves through just as long as, they stay motivated and inspired. So for him to be saying he doesn't know how his words impacted people, I called him on it and I said, no, listen, we all have the evidence that your words impacted multiple people all across the base and all across the Air Force. His words are impacting people all across the world as he, drops his thoughts on social and on other areas. He's impacting people. And so this is what I said to him. I said, the issue is not, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that hater in the back? No, I'm just playing. He ain't a hater. That's my co-pilot. He getting into it. But I said, the issue isn't that you didn't say anything that impacted anybody. The issue is you don't believe in the power of what you're saying. And that's dangerous to other people. Because when you have power and you don't understand how powerful you are, you can sometimes be irresponsible, and which is dangerous, or at the least you can be flippant with the way that you use your power. And his power is his voice, his testimony, the things that he's been through. And so I said, let's first off recognize that you impact people with your perspective and your experience and your advice and your encouragement. So let's start there. So now he knows that he inspires people. So now that we started there, let's go back and say, now that you know that there's power to the things that you're saying, it is your responsibility to use your power for good. And here's where the boomerang effect comes into. So I was talking with one of my consultants, coaches, my coach, success consultant. Yeah. And he said, I hope that you heard that message and how it applies to your life. And as I was saying that to him, I realized that all I had to do was turn that spotlight around, and that same thing applied to me. My experiences, the things that I have to share are valid and powerful and impactful to people. And I have a responsibility. And so as I thought about this, I wanted to share this with you, the boomerang effect. And so what's happening here is I'm sharing with you. I'm not giving you advice. I'm sharing with you advice for me. And I'm going to send it out there for you. And hopefully it lands. I'm sure it will, because we're talking about the responsibility of impact, right? So when you can do something that impacts people, when you do something that has an effect on it, or you have a gift, you have a talent, you have something that brings value into people's lives, you do have that responsibility. I have a responsibility. I know my words impact people. And so I have to be consistent in my choice to use my words to encourage people. Now, anybody that knows me personally knows I'm a jokester, that I'm always looking to be funny. And I get that and I understand that. But I do have to understand the limitations to that. And I do have to understand that there's a time to joke and there's a time to be serious. And so impact of your gift, your talent, your words, sometimes it's just your presence. Understand that that's an impact. And what I constantly coach and consult people on is understanding the power of your presence. So if there's presence or there's power to your presence, then you can't just show up any kind of way. Because if your presence, if your personality has sway, then you have a responsibility to use that sway and to use that power in a way that affects and impacts people in a positive way. Because you can easily, if Dr. Eric Thomas, we know him as E.T., the hip hop preacher. One of his teachers was talking about it. She said, he wasn't a bad student, but he wasn't really interested in school. She said one of the things about him is that, people responded to him, so that if he came in and he wasn't paying attention and he was cutting up, they were going to act the same way that he did, because there was power in his presence. And think about that. Like when you come and you just all into yourself and you've got a power, you've got a gift, you've got a talent, you've got gravitas to your persona, and you just act any kind of way, you negatively impact other people. And not only do you negatively impact other people, you are responsible for your impact on those people. I don't make the rules. I'm just letting you know you're responsible for that. But not only are you responsible for that, I think sometimes we underplay our impact and what we're able to do. A friend of mine asked me about something that I posted on social media, and I was talking, and the example was from one of the guys that works on the floor in my division. and he does photography for me. And hold on. Hey, calm down, buddy. All this yelling. He got nothing to be frowning with it, too. Y'all ought to see him, man. If I could turn this camera around, but I can't turn this one around. This ain't my cell phone. He over there frowning like I'm supposed to be talking to him. And you know what? He is right. I'm going to get my babies. And we're going to go out. This weather is beautiful. We're going to go out and get a walk. But so I was talking to the young man that works on my division, and he does some photography for me. His thing was, because I am the senior enlisted leader on the floor, he wanted to do it as a favor under the guise, hey, I'm getting experience. But I couldn't let him not charge me what his services are worth. And I held him to that because I was like, you have to state your worth. And as I'm talking to him, same thing for me. I have to recognize that I have work and what I do has a certain impact. And there's so many things that I do that I just feel like, hey, you know, this is just something important to do because of where I work, because the people that work for me and with me deserve it, you know, but I never think about the fact that I'm able to present certain concepts. For instance, I did a job interview workshop for my team. And, you know, there were other people that heard about it and they said, hey, I want to get in on that. And there were actually people that used the techniques and, you know, all of the things that I was training about and actually got promotions and jobs off of it. Man, come on now. I got it going on. But a lot of times I take what I'm able to do and I minimize it as if I'm not gifted, as if I'm not talented, as if I'm not impactful, as if my heart is not in the right place. And when I diminish myself, I diminish all of the other people that'll be impacted and inspired to do greater things because I'm over here sleeping on me. Like life is a gift, right? Yeah. And what good is a gift if you don't give it away? What good are my talents, my skills, my ability to communicate, to inspire, to motivate, to train, to teach, to consult, to coach? What good are those gifts if I don't give them away? Yeah. Talking to you. Listen, if there's something that you can do, make sure that you're doing it to positively impact somebody else. Don't be holding that stuff into yourself because you won't get the maximum benefit from it. But not only that, you know, a lot of anxiety, man. I think about this. I have been in the United States Air Force for almost 23 years, and it's about to come to an end. And I act as if I haven't had success in this career and other endeavors. I think sometimes when you do something new, you act like it's a total reset. But I posted on Twitter the other day and I said, cream rises to the top. It doesn't rise to this top or that top or a specific top. It always rises to whatever top there is. Doesn't matter. It crosses disciplines if it has to, because cream rises to the top. End of story, period. So I've had success in so many different areas. And when I've applied myself, listen, when I didn't took it to folks, like one of the biggest things we talk about is being consistent, man. This is episode number 78 of the Help Myself podcast. If nothing else, when you fall in love with the Help Myself podcast, you go check out the website and you go check out all of the things that I've been offering and all the things that I do. This ain't a one-hit wonder. Man, you'll be able to go back years. The Monday Morning Mind Hack, you go back 3 years. The Help Myself podcast, you can go back. My goodness, it's about to be 3 years next week that I've been doing the 2 years. I'm sorry, 2 years. We're on season 3. But we started March 20th, 2020. 2 years straight getting on the mic. And let me tell you something. My strength and my superpower was not consistency to begin with. But I kept at it. And I'm going to keep at it. We're going to keep getting better, onwards and upwards, as I always say. And I say that to you. Stay consistent. Continue to look at what you're doing. Figure out ways to get better at it. You got this. But you've got to. And here's the thing. When you get better, make sure that you are willing to listen to feedback. And people telling you, man, if you listen to that first season of the Help Myself podcast, I was really trying to figure it out and get it right. Like, I'm not going to keep telling this story, but, just how I coordinated the intro, the music. Sometimes it was too loud. Sometimes it was too long. Sometimes it was too short. It was trial and error. But you know what? I decided I wasn't going to give up. And, I'm looking at some of the things that I got here. And I've said this before, but I will say it's worth saying again. The biggest room in the house is the room for improvement. So we all about improvement. Ain't that right, LJ? Improvement, right, baby? But listen, the boomerang effect. Understand the impact that you have. Embrace your own personal greatness. I really want to encourage you to go check out the audio podcast, because I talked about how we need to normalize conversations on affluence. And that's mindset. That's a belief of what you should and should not have. And I think sometimes we're too willing to go very low on the bottom, but to also keep the ceiling low. You ought to get to the point where you decide that the sky is the limit. And a lot of times, what is limiting you is not your ability, and it's not the resources that will become available to you. What is limiting you is your belief that you should only have this much, that you can only do this much. But when we start believing better, we start receiving better. And I know it's catchy and it rhymes and this, that, and the other, but it's so true. The life that I'm living now, I didn't even believe that I could live this life prior to this assignment. So when I was in Scott Air Force Base in Southern Illinois, I didn't see this. But now that I've had a taste of it, my belief of what is possible through the roof. But the problem is the roof is still there. So the work is to eliminate the roof. Pulled up with my ceilings missing. Womp, womp, womp. Hey, look, you ain't got to like my jokes. I enjoy them, okay? But I want you and me, because we're going to do this together. This is a collaborative effort. We're going to take the ceilings off. We're going to believe in our ability. We're going to believe in our impact. We're going to be responsible taking our impact into consideration, because there's so much to do. There's so many people to be inspired. There's so many people to bring along. A rising tide lifts all ships. And so I believe that as I'm connected with like-minded folks, that rising tide is going to lift us all. And then that belief, my belief is not to just make it, but my belief is to get to a point where I'm able to create generational wealth for my family and community health for my community, for all the people that I'm associated with. So when we can get to those spaces where we believe in what our potential is, we get out of that believing that somebody else needs to do it for us. Because I think that really limits us a lot, is that somebody else should do it. But if you keep pushing the can off to somebody else, eventually you're not going to be able to kick the can any further, but you're not going to have the ability, the belief, the strength, or what you need to get the job done. So the boomerang effect, we'll bring it back full circle. I said all of this in the form of a podcast as if I'm saying it to you, but I'm really saying all of this to me, because we've got to do better. We've got to be better, because deep on the inside, we are better. You want to say hi, LJ? Say hi to the people. Say, hey. He saw his screen and he pulled back real quick. You want to pull it again? He said right here, like, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that one's out. That one's out. That one's out. Stop. See, this boy challenges me. But that's it from me and the co-pilot. Listen, take the ceilings off, take the roof off, take the limits off. Believe in what you have. Understand your impact. Use it responsibly. And from here on, it is onwards, forward, and upwards. Because we can do all things. Are you hearing me? I think you got that. So I'm going to close it like I always do. Listen, I can't help myself. I've got to inspire. I've got to encourage. I've got to empower. But I can't help myself by being the absolute best version of myself. And you can too. So why not we do it together? Listen, I appreciate y'all so much. And again, like I said, I appreciate your support. Thank you for rocking with the Help Myself podcast. Until next time, man, go check me out on YouTube. Go check out the website. Go check me out on Instagram, Facebook. I'll be wilding out on Twitter. Maybe don't check me out there. But thank you for your support. And I'm definitely going to take on the responsibility to make it worth the ride. So we're out.
You know I got to have you.